Gary, in this body that you're in right now, there's simply a fragment of the higher self soul in you, just a
Does a higher
piece.
self soul make a couple more dollars than I do? Because I could really. Welcome to Splintered Spirits, the podcast hosted by me, Gary, and my nephew, John Santa from Santa Paranormal, where we try to answer the question, what are spirits? Today's guest is going to give me a crash course in past life regression therapy. Mayra Rath runs Soul Science Hypnosis in Los Angeles. Mayra is a leader in the past life regression therapy modality, having regressed thousands of global clients over the last 26 years, both in person and online. In her practice, she offers past life regression therapy, QHHT hypnosis, and life between lives hypnosis. Now, I have no idea what any of those words mean when you're put together like this, but I'm about to find out. Past life regression therapy has gained a reputation for its incredible healing abilities. It can offer insights and benefits such as resolving emotional or physical issues, clearing fears, releasing trauma, resolving karmic relationships, and understanding recurring patterns or behaviors that are limiting you today. It's also a very interesting take on spirit communication and spirit origin in a milieu similar to those we talk about all the time on this podcast. Things like energy, frequency, vibrations. Now, we've all heard stories of reincarnation. Maybe someone you know claims to have been a Revolutionary War soldier or a wench in the past life. But as we're about to find out, the word past is a misnomer. Everything, everywhere is happening all at once. And I mean everywhere. Intergalactically, interdimensionally, mythologically. You tripping out yet? Don't take it from me. Hear it from Mayra Rath. She's the expert. Let's dive into the conversation. All right, Mayra, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. On Splintered Spirits, I say us, it's just me, unless there's somebody else around that you can tell me about afterwards. But Mayra, I started off these interviews the same way with all of our guests on Splintered Spirits, so just to get a baseline. And the question is this, and it's a heavy one, but we'll see, and it's however you look at it. But Mayra, what do you think spirits are?
Well, to me, spirit is an energy, right? It's not a physical body. It's a non-physical energy that can take shape, that can be communicated with. Spirit to me resides on many levels and frequencies. Yeah, I think,
So that's
it's just a non-physical. I believe it's very, very real. I believe that,
so it's not so much a religious standpoint.
no.
It's a very, and you said frequency, which is sort of a very Kabbalion, sort of the Hermetic principles of, vibration or something. Is that a
Sure.
philosophy you
Well, I
follow
believe,
or?
yeah, no, I mean, it's not something I follow, but I believe that spirit resides on different frequencies. There are lower, there are middle, there are many, many, and higher.
Amazing.
So,
No, it's, I like where that sits. That fits into a lot of things. So one of, John, who can't be with us today, his sort of belief that what spirits are memories attached to energy. So in the sense that based on the idea of we all have electrical synapses going off in our brains, right? Like this is a scientific fact. And energy is something that cannot be created or destroyed. So what happens to this energy when we pass? It has to dissipate. It has to go somewhere. It doesn't disappear. And then it's the question of what is consciousness? And that's the piece we don't really know what it is. So he believes that maybe that consciousness, that memory is attached to that energy. And that's what he's talking to, and that's what's connecting in this. And when he goes to certain places, it's where, in the same way that a haunting, some consider a haunting to be an imprint on a location that's just going in a loop like a tape, these memories go to where that person may have felt the strongest or whatever it is, and that's why they're there. So that's where he's coming from. So it's good. Okay, so I like that sort of basic setup. How did you discover and get into past life regression? How did you find this path?
Yeah. Well, I read a book. I read a book, and it was in the late 90s. I read Dr. Brian Weiss's Many Lives, Many Masters.
That's like the book, apparently. Everything that I've looked
It's the
up,
book. Yeah,
right? It's
it's
like that's it.
absolutely, and I'm honored to call him one of my teachers. Later, I trained with him. I've had many teachers along the way, but it was that book. And I grew up in a very, very spiritual home. My father was a medium, a channel. So reading that book, it wasn't weird for me, but I loved hearing about channeling higher masters, which the book really, really entails. Um,
We'll get into that in a second because
yeah.
you said a lot of words. I don't know what it means, but I don't want to jump ahead. But keep going.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of had a woo-woo house, even
Okay.
growing up in the
Sure.
70s and the 80s. My house was woo-woo. Okay.
Did you grow up
When,
out here in LA?
yes, in the
Okay.
valley. Yeah.
All right. So for
Hmm.
LA 70s for sure. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I read that book, and then a couple years later, I think it was like 1998, my brother reached out and invited me to a weekend of it was a like an expo on not just past life regression, it was hypnosis, but past life regression was going to be in one of the halls. And of course, that's where we went. And we spent 2 days being regressed by Dick Setfen, who had written many books on past life regression. And it was put out by the American Board of Hypnotherapy. They were there. And I just, after the 2 days, I'm like, I want to do this. It was just like, I know I can do this. And I signed up for their program. And in 1999, they were like, here you go, here's your certificate. So try to find people to work on in 1999, right? Everybody was in the closet. No one believed in this. It was really, really hard to find people to even practice. It's like, wow, I have this really cool tool in my arsenal. Like, don't you want to know who you've been, where you've been? And it was like, no, no. So it was really hard in those early years. It was, and there were times where it was just like I didn't even do anything because it was so hard to find people. And on occasion, I would meet someone, and if the conversation ever went to a spiritual place, I would say, well, I do past life regression. And I was like, oh my God. So there we go. I was able to practice. So it was a slow, slow beginning.
What
Mhm.
is the difference between reincarnation and past life regression, or are these things hand in hand?
They are hand in hand. Reincarnation is like the word, the original word that was used to describe that we have been here before. Past life regression is the actual modality that
Okay.
gets you there,
I see.
right?
I
Hmm.
yes, that makes sense. And past life regression is hand in hand then with hypnosis. Is that true?
It is hypnosis.
So it is.
It
Right. It
is
is a
hypnosis. Hmm.
got it. Okay, so it's a type of. So all right. So then this is already enlightening for me in this crash course that you're giving me. All right. So then what is from what I've read about, and I'm trying to understand, like people use a lot of these terms, and maybe you can walk me through. Like, what is QHHT?
Yes. So QHHT stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. It is past life regression, but QHHT, it was named after Dolores Cannon. It's her method of past life regression. There are, Dolores Cannon didn't invent or, discover past life regression, but what she did, she, she discovered something really, really special that set her apart. And that is through her work in past life regression. some of her clients started leaving Earth and going to other planets in their past lives. That's what set Dolores really apart from other hypnotherapists that were doing the same work. You know, Brian Weiss never talked about it. Now he does, okay? Because I saw him in August last year, and it's like, oh, now he's talking about, the star seeds and other planets and past lives. But Dolores was the first to do it. And I think that's where, like, the universe was just sending her a lot of clientele where she was able to write books about it. And she's written, I don't even know, 30, 40 books, a lot, about, how Earth is not it. This is a baby planet, right? This is just a baby planet. And so ever since I started doing her method of hypnotherapy, the universe said, okay, Mayra, you're ready. And we're going to start sending you clients from other planets. So right now, about, I would say 35, sometimes 40% of my clients are exploring lifetimes on other planets. So.
Okay. And we're going to get into this too. So that's in this, is that in this realm, or are you talking about
No.
interdimensional things?
Interdimensional.
It's not just like they're from another planet, like in a galaxy a long time ago and far, far away, like a Star Wars opening, which is in here, or is it like they're in another, like, is this Marvel universe another spot?
Yes.
I'm not, and I don't mean to be making a joke. I'm just trying to explain it in a way that helps me understand it.
Yes.
I'm the dumb one here, so I want to explain. Like, that's what helps me say it. But you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like is it because you say past life? I think it's a long time ago. So are these from aliens in our galaxy space from a long time ago, or are you talking they're from another dimension, like they've gone through the Twilight Zone?
It's kind of both, because, I know right now when people want to explore this modality, we are calling it a past life regression. But to be honest, there is no past, right? Everything is parallel. Everything, past, present, parallel present, and future, right? So today I took a client through multiple lives, and one of them, she was on a ship and being promoted to come to Earth on a mission. And it was just so interesting. When is that? So that was really interesting. One of the things I asked her, we can't tell what year it is. They don't have years, clocks, and calendars the way Earth does, right?
Right.
So one of her missions was to come to Earth on their ship. There were 4 of them on the ship. And when they landed, they didn't land. They hovered and sort of transmuted themselves to the ground where the cows were.
They got beamed down.
Yes.
Okay.
They have that technology. And she says, we're on the ground, we're touching the cows. We're very curious. We've never seen them. And it's like, well, what are you going to do with the cows? And she says, we have syringes. We're actually extracting. We don't want to hurt them. We're giving them a lot of love, but we want to bring samples back with us because we're very, very curious about why humanity is killing this animal. What is it? Why are you eating it? Why is there dairy? All of that, right? How is it creating food for the people on Earth? During that mission, they moved across and they saw some children playing. And when she saw the children playing from their ship, I said, do you have an idea of the timeline when you came down, when you see these children, how they're dressed, what they're wearing, what does it feel like? And what she said is, it feels like the 50s.
Oh,
it feels as if when we came in on that particular mission, but remember, they travel through portals, so they can go to the 50s, they can go to the 20s, they can go to the 1800s. They can travel through any timeline. It's incredible. And research. So that was my day today.
That's wild.
Typically, yeah.
All right. And again, I'm trying not to jump around, but I'm going to get back to that too. I'm taking notes because there's some questions I have. So all right. So that's QHHT. That's I guess what the quantum part is, right? The idea
Correct.
of okay. And the H, the healing, is the whole point of this to then try to overcome something? What is the healing part of that of the
Yeah,
H?
that's a great question. So this is again Dolores Cannon's technique. The healing part is once we see in a QHHT session, it's a long session. It could range between 4 and 5 hours. You're
In one
seeing,
time?
yes,
Okay.
yes. That's in one setting. You're taken to multiple lifetimes, not just one. Okay, so typically I take my clients to 3 different lifetimes, and in each one, it's a completely different timeline. Okay, then after we see that, we connect with the client's higher self. Are you familiar with what is the higher self or the oversoul?
No, I have no idea what that means.
Okay,
What is that?
so
Is this getting into like when you or in this world like when they talk about a spirit guide or a master spirit, or is this something different?
something different.
Okay. So this is higher self.
Yes.
Okay, what's
So
that?
So Gary, you actually have a higher self. It's your higher soul. Gary, in this body that you're in right now, there's simply a fragment of the higher self soul in you. Just a
Does a higher
piece.
self soul make a couple more dollars than I do? Because I could really
Yeah.
like hopefully
That's the
pass it
big
down.
guy. The higher
All
self
right.
is the big guy for sure. And okay, so this is going to get much more broad. I want
Okay.
you to remember, think that there's no time at all. So the higher
Okay.
self, there's no clocks and calendars. So the
Okay.
higher self, think of it like an octopus. Okay?
Sure.
Intelligent, right?
Yes.
Wise.
I believe octopuses are aliens as anyway, but that's a
Me
whole
too.
other story.
Yes. So imagine that the head of the octopus is the higher self. And then the tentacles, let's say there's 30 tentacles. I know they don't have that many, but
Sure.
just for this,
This right. Yeah, this
yeah.
creature right. Got it.
Each tentacle is a lifetime that the higher self is projecting itself out to have an experience. You, Gary, are one tentacle
Right.
to the higher self.
This
Yeah.
meat sack that I'm in right now
Yeah.
is one version that he's testing out for some reason.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, it's to be like, let's see what it would be like to suck on Earth. And then he's picking me right now to be this one. Like, let's just make this guy go through the grind. It seems. I'll have
Well,
words with him in the end, but we'll talk about that. Okay.
you could,
All right.
but it's
So,
going to tell you have free will. It's all you,
no, I know.
Gary.
I get it. Sure. So, okay. So I understand the concept. I understand. So that's the master self. So you're in this. So, okay. So then continue for the healing part then. So you're
Yes.
with them in this session. You go through 3 lifetimes and you're trying to figure out what needs to be healed with the master self.
Well, the master self, the oversoul, higher self, whatever you want to call it knows everything about you. Everything. Okay. I don't want to skip something also really important in between connecting with the higher self and leaving the past lives, because we do make a stop. The first place we stop on the third life, we do see the death. Okay, we do take you through the death scene on the third life. How did you die in that life? Okay.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying third life, but you're saying there's no time. Is this a chronological order of some kind, or
There's
you're
no
just picking
order.
so you're just picking a random third one of the
Well, I
30
don't pick it. The higher self chooses what to show you.
Okay, but it is a random third thing from the multiple that you probably have.
Right.
Is that what you're saying? I just
Yeah.
want to understand what we're saying. It's not like this was the third time you lived and now this is the
No, no,
death.
no,
This
no.
is
No,
this is all
not in
okay.
not in
Got,
order. It's
no, I
not
got it.
linear.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So then,
whatever
so then
that
you go through that death of that whatever. Okay.
Right. You go through the death and then we move you up, up, up. And the first thing I'm going to do is bring in those spirit guides because I know you mentioned them earlier and I don't want to forget that it's part of the experience is to connect with your spirit team. Okay.
There's a team.
There's a team.
Okay.
There usually
Are
is.
these human spirits or are they? Do
No,
you know what I'm
don't call
saying?
them spirits. Don't call them
Oh,
spirits. They are guides. These are your they could be angels, they're your guides. They're not spirits, but they're spirit guides, right? They reside in the spirit realm. They have been with you. They've been watching over you. They've been helping you in whatever incarnation you're in. And in many times they offer themselves as your guides through multiple lifetimes that you've had, right? You don't have an idea of who they are, but when you're on the other side, you're like, oh my God, bro, hi, you know them, right? You're very familiar with them.
but they are not human entities. They
They're
never
not
were.
human. No,
Got
no,
it. Okay.
no. Well, some of them have had uh, incarnations and they've sort of ascended and now they are on the other side helping. They don't need to come in anymore. They've
Okay.
evolved. They've evolved.
Okay. And these are there to help you or help a person what? Make right choices? Find a better tentacle to go down? What is there? No, I mean for real. Like what is there? What are they guiding people to do and how are they doing that?
Quit your job. Move. Certain things, big moves, they're always going to be there. And a lot of people understand and pray to their guides and their angels. They're like, God, help me get this job. They're going to move things and make things happen to help you. But there is a thing that is known that they don't get in the way. You have to ask them for help. Otherwise, they're just there. What I have heard is, let's say there's a death in the family and you're in just major grief. You're laying in bed and you're just crying and bawling and they are there. They are sitting on that bed and their hands are on you. You may not feel it, but these guides love you. They love you unconditionally. So they act as, just these helpful, non-physical beings throughout your entire incarnation.
Okay. So then does that mean that are you saying then that the help part or the healing part of this process is to get to them so that or to better help you connect with them in order to get over
Yeah.
what you need to get over to solve whatever problem you
No.
need to solve?
No.
Oh,
That part when I bring your guides in is because people are curious. They want to
okay.
know who their guides are, what their names are, what they look like. And often they do appear in a physical form for you. Some of them have wings, some of them are angels. Some are light beings where they're just luminescent.
Mhm.
Yeah, so a lot of them just are pure light, but there's like a shape to them.
Okay.
Sometimes they come forward in multiples. Sometimes it's two, sometimes it's four. But I always ask one to come in even closer to moderate to ask questions. So we're with the guides for just a little bit.
Why
Okay.
are they who puts them there? Where are they like what's their who's paying them?
Who's paying them?
Yeah, like why
They're
are
not
they there?
paid.
So is this like what is that from? Like where are they why are they helping?
Well, before you came into this body, it was an agreement. They are the ones that helped you, that sat with you with your that pre-soul, like I'm jumping in, right? You are planning your life. You're planning your challenges. Who's your family? Who's going to be this? Um, who wants to volunteer to be the narcissist father, right?
No, I guess what I'm asking you, Myra, is if we looked at it through a religious lens, right? I can see that okay, there is a God, and God has angels, and these angels are helping humans get through it with their souls and this and that. But if we're not saying it's like a Roman Catholic God and these are these angels, what are we saying these beings are that are want to help people get through these various different
Well,
timelines?
I call them my spirit guides. I don't,
Okay.
and there's a lot of people that are going to listen to this and say it's bullshit, right?
No, no, I get
I don't
that.
believe
Please,
in it.
yeah, no, we're not in
I,
the bullshit. We're not in the bullshit. But like, please, and we get caught. That's not where we're here. Like, I just want to understand like this, like the hierarchy of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to get a handle on to how that, like, what is the? Do they report to a god or a even higher spirit? Like, or is it were they always there and always were? Is it that
yeah,
sort of idea? Okay,
they are there for you. Whether you believe they're there or not, they are still there for you. You'll learn the truth once you're on the other side of it, right? You will
okay,
learn the truth. So
all
after
right,
we connect with the guides, that's when we make contact with the higher self that we had talked about.
okay,
Now we're
yes,
getting into the healing, okay?
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting into the healing. So in QHHT, a client arrives with a list of questions. What do they want to know? They can ask anything about their life, their past, their future, and what's going on with their body.
But do you know what they're doing there beforehand? Like, hey, I'm coming to see you because I'm either grieving over a family member or I want to quit smoking or I want to like do you have like a baseline with a
Yes.
client? Okay, so that's like your starting place of something like a tangible problem that
Yeah,
they have.
well, that 4.5 hours. First, I do a consultation the week prior to their
Okay.
session on Zoom, so I'm able to see them, and that's the first thing I ask. What do you want out of this? Why are you
Right.
doing this, right? And so they will tell me what their goal is. It's important not to have expectations, but people do come for healings, and I've seen miracles happen in QHHT.
Are any of these mental blocks in terms of like, grief or dealing with people or emotions or getting along with a person versus physical or,
All
or
of the
job?
above.
It's a good mix.
It's
It's a
all of the
total mix.
above. All of the above. And because
Okay.
people do listen to the podcast and listen, all of a sudden it sparks a question. It's like, oh my God, I never considered that the reason why I don't get along with my sister, that this is something karmic. Her and I are like this. We all we do is fight, fight, fight. What is going on? What's really happening here? So sometimes it is about relationships.
And do they use that knowledge to change or to justify their behaviors?
No, definitely change.
Okay.
Yeah. The
But you see
people
what I'm
that come
saying,
to,
right?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
People that come in, they're ready for change. They are ready. They don't want to keep doing the same thing, and they realize they're getting sick. It's making them sick. It's not, they're not evolving, and this is the one thing that they really want to, move on from. And
Okay.
so, yeah.
Um, okay. That's super interesting and helpful. Now, what is life between lives? What's LBL work? What is that? Is that part of the process to get to the higher self, or is it a whole separate thing?
Okay, so that's a different session.
Okay.
That Life Between Lives, that was created by Dr. Michael Newton, who also has written many books, Journey of Souls. So very, very interesting collection of books that Michael Newton has. And what his method is moving you through a past life, just one, okay? And then we bring in the guides. We always bring in the guides. But after that, we kind of keep going. From there, we take you to a place called the Akashic Records. Okay. Have you ever heard that word?
I've heard the word Akashic before. I
Okay.
have. I have no idea what it means. It's okay, but please continue.
Okay. So the Akashic Records, I want you to think, okay, what would it be like if I handed you a book and I said, Gary, in this book is every life you've ever had, every life you will have. is in this book. Would you want to look at it?
I'd be terrified to look at it. I
Well,
would be terrified to look at it.
it's in your records. So the Akashic records is where everyone's records are kept. A hall of records. It's etheric. It's not like a physical place,
Hmm.
but it is etheric. Um, and the cool thing is that when you're in sessions, because you're working in the quantum field, it's a place that we can visit. And my clients can get their books, open them up. Today, my client, without even me asking, her guides took her there. After the third life, the fourth one, she was in the records, and I knew she was there. And she says, I see people like studying. I see them in little corners, like people are looking down and they're sort of reviewing their own records. So we pulled her records. And when she opened it up, everyone is going to everyone perceives different in the records. For her, it was like a movie that was playing, right? For others, it may be impressions and pictures that come based on some of your past lives, right? In this case, today, she was shown where her because she did give me permission to share, so I'm able to talk about this, where her insecurity with men comes from today. And it was really interesting through this, movie that was playing out. She saw herself as an 8-year-old girl, a memory that she completely forgot, in a bathing suit, in a bikini. And she says, and I'm swimming with neighborhood kids, and there is these boys, and they're teasing me. She says, they're just teasing me. And she said she felt so bad and so insecure that the next time she went swimming, she wore a long t-shirt. Right? So,
Did
do you
this
see how
actually happen to her, or was this
it
something
did?
she's from a different timeline or from
No,
a
it
different?
happened in this life, and they were
Okay,
showing her where her incident. That was one of her
got it,
questions.
got it.
And it's like we were going to ask the higher self that question anyway, but the guide said, we're going to show it to you now, where it came from. And so where you can recall anything in the Akashic records, it holds every possible, even future possibilities exist in the records based on decisions that you might make.
So,
So
Myra, are you your role? What exactly is the role of that? What exactly is your role? Are you like a cipher to help them get there, or are you the one channeling the spirit guide, or how does that? What
yeah.
is that?
No, I'm not channeling. I'm
Okay,
all the healing, all the information comes from within them. I'm simply the guide. I take them to the deepest level of hypnosis, not
okay.
sleep, but deepest level of hypnosis. And my job is to ask lots of questions and to unveil and reveal what is happening in each scene, in each memory throughout the lifetimes. We're taking them to important days, your proudest day, your saddest day, an important event. What are those days, so that we can learn and reveal everything about that life. And then we do it again on the second life or the third. So, but with life between lives, you are just seeing that one life. Then we take you to the Akashic records. Then, because it's we're going from place to place. From there, have you heard of soul families?
No.
Okay, so it is the concept of, like,
To be
Gary.
clear, I've rarely heard of anything. So,
Okay.
oh no, this is my crash course in this. And you
Oh,
called
it
it
is.
soul families?
Yeah. So, do you have a mom and dad? Correct.
I would think so.
Do you have siblings?
I do.
Do you have a partner
Yes,
or
I'm
had a
married.
partner? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So typically, and you have children.
Yes.
So typically, your parents, sometimes your spouse or your partners, your children are in that soul family. Okay. And you've all agreed to come into this life as your family. I'm going to be the mom, I'm going to be the dad. But what happens is, what happens in the next life? Well, maybe you and your dad, you may trade. Maybe you'll say, I'm going to be the dad in this time because X, Y, and Z, right? There's a reason for it. Maybe you need to trade these roles for a certain reason. I work with a lot of clients that come in, and it's almost as if they already know. They'll say, my daughter, my little girl, I know my daughter was my mother in a past life because all she does is boss me around. Bossy, 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 telling me what to do. And generally, they're correct.
I have a question
No.
because I'm just trying to get my head around it. We're talking about a higher self and tentacles with different sort of tracks, right? These different lives. But
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, but in the next life, we're going to do this, we're going to switch, which then says to me there is a timeline, there is a linear place. First we're doing this, then we're doing this. Is that just a misnomer, or is it in another timeline we're switched?
In another
It's
timeline.
not after this we're going to be this, or before
Correct.
this we're going to be that, right? I'm just trying to clear up the vernacular here so I get my
Yeah.
head around it. It's like,
There is
even
no
though,
linear. There is no linear. Forget
okay,
linear.
so even when we say like, I know in a past life I was this, that could actually be happening right now somewhere. Is that the
Everything
idea?
is how everything is
Everything
happening right
everywhere all
now.
at once kind of thing,
Yes,
right? Is that what
yes.
we're talking about? Right. So that, but I just want to be clear about that. And I think that kind of clarity, trust me, I know our audience,
Yeah.
they're going to be tripping out, trying to figure this out, like they're going to need a degree or something, but they don't. And so we're just saying past life. We're saying
Yes.
in another, but it's really in another life. I am this. All right. Right. Like,
Right.
as opposed to I was or I will be.
Yeah,
It's
people don't talk like that. Yeah.
right.
And I think we'll continue to call it past lives because it's just easy to,
Easier. Right,
it
but
is easy.
the truth is, what I'm saying is really how you think of it, and what the people in your field think of it. Right? This is all happening, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Absolutely.
Okay,
You got it,
that's.
Gary.
I'm trying to get it. You're a good
You got it.
teacher. You're a good teacher.
So the soul family,
Yes.
you move from life to life to life to life, right? So let's say when this is over, right? When this is over and you're all up there and everyone's sort of deciding, okay, maybe it's time to come back. Here's the cool thing. Remember, it isn't linear. So you can decide if you want to come to Earth, you can come into Earth at any timeline you want. It's not, well, we lived in 2025, and we don't want to do that again, although you could and do it differently. But you can say, hey, who's up for Nazi Germany, right? Who wants to do that? Or who wants to go and be a Viking? You guys want to be Vikings, right? You
Two
can
words
live.
why I would never want to live in the past. By the way, 2 words: modern dentistry. But go ahead.
Right,
I
right.
do not
That's
want to
true.
go anywhere. That's not it. And I hope you don't have a lot of clients who are sitting there going, I hope I get to try out Nazi Germany in another life. That's a little weird, sort of. You might
Yes,
want to
and
call the FBI.
I have had clients that have gone there, and it's
You might
pretty
want to,
brutal.
you might want to put them on a watch list or something. But anyway, it's just like, all right, guy. But go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so you get to choose. And honestly, Gary, when you're up there, it's a game. It's all a game. Everyone is like, we're doing this, okay? Because it is temporary. But when you're here, it feels so real. It feels so real. But when you're up there and you're planning, and Dolores wrote in one of her books, I don't remember which one, it was really interesting. She took a client who was up there planning her life, and she was sitting with one of her guides. And there was a bowl on the table with marbles, lots of marbles, that she was given these marbles. And she says, okay, so for every challenge that you want to experience in this incarnation, I want you to put a marble in the bowl. And she was, okay, I want to experience, grief. Okay, throw that in there, right? And she just kept on with the emotions. I want to experience this. I want to experience that. And she said, I just want to get it over with. I just want to get there and get this all done. But the guides really try to talk you out of it. Okay? They really say you're taking on too much. But we can choose the life. I want to choose some of the tougher things that I don't even want to put words to it. Okay? And you can throw marble in. It's like, why do we do it? Why do we do it? And it's really to evolve faster. So the soul evolves faster, faster. So there's no need to come back because I've done that, done it, done it, done it, done it. I am good. Send me somewhere else. Let me be a spirit guide, right?
Sure.
So,
But let me ask you this, Mayra. How do you, from a practical standpoint, because look, I'm playing in a paranormal space. You're playing in a fringe sort of belief system with past life regression and hypnotherapy, just in general. What kind of safeguards do you put in place to distinguish between people who want to use this for help or they might have real mental illness? How do you know what, and how do you protect yourself and them or from that? How do you know the difference?
yeah, so there is a waiver, a waiver and a questionnaire, and then also the consultation. So this work is safe for anyone,
Mm-hmm.
for the exception of anyone that's having, I think, schizophrenia for sure, no.
Mm-hmm.
But besides schizophrenia, you can pretty much take on, clients that have PTSD. Anxiety is an epidemic. I have everyone coming in has anxiety, which is really fear. But fear
Mm-hmm.
of what? Let's find out, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
find out. Um, Depression. People with depression come in. It's okay. It's very safe because all the healing is you. It's inside of you, right?
Have you ever had a situation with a client where you got into it and you're like, wait a minute, this is not, they lied on the form, or this is not
No,
going okay.
no,
I mean, I'm not going
no.
to ask you. I wouldn't ask you to name names. I'm just sort of curious. Like, has
No,
there
no,
ever been
no,
like,
no.
I got to call somebody. This person might hurt themselves or
Oh,
hurt
no, no,
others.
no. No,
Okay.
Gary, hypnosis is so safe.
Okay.
It's so safe. Yeah, it's like a deep meditation. Where have you heard anybody, like losing their marbles?
No, I mean it's like, but it's
Yeah.
like if someone reveals some deep dark secret where you're like, wait a minute, that might be, you know, we might have to call the police about this, or this might be
No,
no,
no.
nothing like that.
No.
Now, what are your beliefs, in terms of in the ghost hunting and the spirits that people claim and apparitions that people are seeing or speaking to in spirit boxes? What is your belief system in what they're talking to and what that is in relation to what you know and what you in your work? Are they connected, or you just think it's not? These are two different things. Like, where does this fall?
Well, honestly, I feel that there's some stuff that, there's a lot of, mm, not real, people that
Sure.
are just, yeah, that there's some phonies out there, but,
Let's assume it's real, though. But like
yes, yes,
for sake
yes.
of this argument, I want to assume that we're dealing
Yeah.
with someone who admits that they have seen an apparition or
Oh,
they are
for sure.
talking to spirit, like mediums who are talking to spirits that can somehow or clairvoyancy or things like that. Where does that fall into what you do, and how do these things
It
connect in?
doesn't. It doesn't fall into what I do, but I absolutely believe in it. And I believe that I mean, I've seen things in my house here
No, no,
where
okay,
I live.
right. No, so it does,
So,
I don't mean like what you do as a work, but what are they then in comparison to what your clients are finding? What's
yeah,
the spirit there? What is that?
I
Or
think
how would you, or just what do you think?
I think that these are spirits that don't go back to source, don't go back to the light. I feel that they are lost, they're sort of wandering, and they've made themselves very, very comfortable. They're like, I don't know anything else, right? And it's not that I think that if you really focus, that you can see that there is this tiny little light that you can focus on, but again, they've made themselves very, very comfortable on this plane in a non-physical way. And I think that that's why people do see apparitions and, spirits.
But they may very well have a body in another place, correct? That's just one
Yes,
version,
think of the
right?
octopus. Yes.
Right. I'm just trying to put right. That's what we're. No, that's my
Hmm.
nephew believes the same thing. He believes that there's different dimensions because one of the people always ask him, oh, these because they'll always say he's messing with demons. It's all hell, and he's like, I don't believe in hell. I believe there might be hell-like dimensions, horrible places, and some of
If
these
you
people
believe
might
in
be
them.
experience. If if that might be a thing, who's to say? If there's an
Mhm.
endless amount of tentacles, who knows what we're dealing with and when it comes through? He believes he has had issues with various entities that he believes were never human that have come through.
Yeah.
That it's like he doesn't know what those are. So he just calls them interdimensional non-human entities. And I like your explanation for it. Like, what could we be talking to, and how that relates to past life regression? If after a session and we make a breakthrough of some kind, and I go off on my own, but I want to keep that going, do I need to always
Yeah.
be hypnotized to do it, or is there a way to
No,
make a
no.
connection with my spirit guide without it? What do people need to
Yeah.
do to do that?
I think you should have a daily practice. Before you get out of bed in the morning, take a moment, lay down, connect with your guides. You can ask them, what do I need to know today? Right? Or just sort of, just ask them to bless your day, right? Yeah, you can ask them for anything. Can I share a story? I'll share a cute story
I love it.
that happened with a spirit guide. I had read a book about how you can ask your guides for favors, all right? Like a
Hmm.
favor. And I had lost this locket. It just disappeared. This locket disappeared. And it was missing for like 3 years. And I thought of that, and it's like, maybe I should ask my guide to put that locket, if it's in this house, it will put that locket right in front of my eyes. So I did this little ceremony, a little candle. I said a prayer. I called them in, and it's like, all right, I'm going to test you. And I'm looking for the locket, the little locket that you open with the little pictures. It's been gone. I don't know where it is, but I made sure to say if it's in this house, but you also have to give them a time, right? So I remember saying, you have a week. You have 1 week to put that locket in front of me if it's in this house. All right. Thank you. And I blew out the candle, and that was it. So then as the days go by, I am just, you forget your little ceremony. You go about your day, you're just bipping along. And then I woke up one morning. This was on the fourth day. The fourth morning, I woke up, and I remember I brushed my teeth, and all of a sudden I had this urge to braid my hair. Just like
Okay.
braid your hair, two braids, right? And I'm opening the drawer. I'm like, okay, I need a hair tie. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, maybe they're in the other bathroom. So I go to the other bathroom, I open the drawer, and this is my makeup drawer. Okay, where I have just lots of stuff.
My
Yeah.
wife has one in my bathroom.
Yep.
I don't ever want to
Lots
go
of
in
stuff.
there.
Don't.
You're right.
And so I'm looking for hair ties, and then I realize this drawer is a mess. So I pull it out. I feel like just this longing now to pull it out, drop it on the ground, and clean it out. So I went to the kitchen, grabbed a bag to throw stuff away, and I'm moving so meticulously, just boom, 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 boom. Wasn't even thinking. And as I'm going through old shadows and lipsticks and whatever, just going through it, I saw, my hands were moving so fast. I saw this little box, and I shook it, and I heard something was in it. And when I opened it, it was the locket.
Mara, that's
Swear.
when do you, no, it's amazing to me. But you know what's more amazing to me actually is like your realization or your connection that that was based on your asking your spirit guides for help.
Of
Can you
course it was.
But can you pinpoint when in your life, because you've been doing this a while, when in your life you realize like this is what this is, and you start recognizing it for what it is, as opposed to coincidence or anything else? Like what was that moment where this is? You said you grew up in a woo woo
I
house, so
did.
maybe it always was this way.
It
But
always was. For me, it
got it,
was. Yeah. For
got it.
me, my dad taught me a lot.
Uh-huh.
And, I saw a lot of things and through him, learned a lot of things. He's the one who told me about past lives when I was like 11 or 12. He talked to me about it. And it was like, when he said it, I was just like, yeah, why wouldn't we come back over and over and over again? It seems like, why just once? So, yeah, it's just always been there.
Got it. It's a really I'm really liking the perspective, like this perspective on what the spirit is. It makes it's just amazing how energy and frequency fits into these theories in a really interesting
Yeah.
way. Um, okay, so then earlier, just to take a jump back, you talked about extraterrestrial consciousness or star seed, right? The word is star. What does that word star seed mean exactly in past life regression therapy?
Yeah, it's not really a past life regression therapy word, but a star seed is a soul that originates from another star system and planet.
Okay.
And they are all coming here to Earth to volunteer to help bring light to Earth, to help Earth in many different ways and many different occupations that they have, right? So,
Now, I listened to a couple of your episodes. One of them, the client was like an elf. It was like he went to Middle Earth. Now, I certainly believe in extraterrestrial life. If we have an infinite galaxy, I can't believe there's not life somewhere. I firmly believe that. But now we're talking about mythical life.
mhm.
How is that? How do you approach that? When was the first time you ever came across that? And were you like, was that like a dog whistle at all? Did you tilt your head a little bit? Like, you know what I mean? How do you hear something?
Curious,
Okay.
curious.
So how do you guide them now? Now they're dealing with a world that we can't, what is how do you guide somebody to say, oh, there's a troll there and the king of the elves? Like, how do you
Yeah.
even, what do you do? Like, how do you, I'm
Ask
serious. Like,
questions, lots of questions. Just keep asking. And I want to say my first um, elf was maybe 7 years ago. I had an elf. I've had mermaids. I've had giants. There are unlimited realms, and we are completely oblivious. That was a really fun one, the one that you just listened to. And my client, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant, smart man. And that was just one of his lives. In a second life I took him to, which I will be sharing, he is actually Pleiadian from the Pleiades galaxy. They are very human. They can pass as humans, many of them. And he is on a ship with the man that's his best friend here. They're both on a ship doing Earth missions right now. Whenever there are rallies and riots, they are coming down disguised as humans. They dress as humans, boots on the ground. They are not part of the rally. They are observers.
careful, someone in the government's going to take that as, see, Antifa. They came here to start trouble.
Yeah, they are.
Someone
They are
political is going
here.
to take advantage of that story. Now, I mean, what is the most, uh, what is the biggest reason clients are coming in? What would you say there's any one or high end reason why they're coming in to go through this process?
I'll give you five. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they are so many. Curious.
Okay.
Curious. Fears.
Fears. Like to
Mm-hmm.
get over a fear,
Yep.
right?
Certain fears. Yeah. It's like sometimes your fears can pop out of nowhere. It's like, I was fine, now I'm not. And now I have this, now I have a horrible, I can't even get in an elevator, a fear of heights,
Okay.
fear of driving. It could be any fear, fear of swimming, fear of deep
Okay.
waters, fear of flying.
Sure.
So lots of different fears. Relationships. People want to know about how they connect. Sometimes maybe someone passes away. Maybe they have a child that passes away. Grieving mothers come to see me
Yeah.
because they want to connect.
I think grief across the board in this space, in
Hmm.
mediums, uh, from mediums to hypnosis to the paranormal, is a very big. Grief seems to be always the top
Hmm.
one,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, a lot of people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like I said, have anxiety. They want to know where it's coming from because they're done taking medication. Their therapists, it's like they're done. I don't want to talk about my issue. It's like not found. And to be honest, I work with therapists that come to see me,
Sure.
and they recognize that they can't help everyone. They can't help everyone when the issue is coming from a different time. There's no amount of therapy that's going to find it, right?
Yeah.
So it could be that. It could be about well, I kind of said
Yeah.
relationships, grief, and then also relationships.
Hmm.
Why you don't get along with certain people,
Hmm.
right? Um, and yeah, sometimes it's just they want to know who their soul family is. So they'll specifically pick, a life between lives, or they want to connect with their higher self. They want healing. They want to correct some things that are happening in their body. But the higher self doesn't just say, okay, let me just cure your IBS, right? It's not it's not going to do that. It's going to show you where it's coming from, why. The why is really important. And that allows it to release because it's just really it's energy. It's stuck energy. And we've had a lot of healings here in my
That's amazing.
office.
No, that's wild. It's very interesting. I asked you earlier how you discern and protect yourself against, mental illness. How do you distinguish between their actual spirit communication and just what's in their own subconscious from being hypnotized?
Yeah, so what I think you're asking when you are in that deep hypnosis, you become a channel. Right? So what essentially what hypnosis is getting it out of the left brain, that overthinking, overanalyzing part of your mind, and we're switching it to the right, quiet, intuitive, focused, right?
Hmm.
So, and then now take it deeper, 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 right? So we are in that right side. And so it allows you to connect with spirit, to listen, to hear messages, to hear what your higher self is saying. Everyone that comes in becomes a channel. We are all channels. So I'll give you an example.
Yes.
So you said you had kids, right?
Hmm.
All right. So has your child ever come to you with a problem, like an issue, like dad, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do I do? They're just pouring their heart out and you're just listening like a good dad would, right? You're
Hmm.
listening and you're already in your mind. You're already like, "Oh, I'm so ready. I know what I want to say." And out of your mouth comes out this very wise, intelligent piece of advice. Has that happened to you?
I wish I could say it has. I hope some of my advice is wise and intelligent. But yeah, of course, I have done my best to try to give my kids some sage wisdom
Yeah.
at times,
And sometimes what comes out, you're actually, wow, that was pretty good, right? You're actually proud of yourself
Yeah.
when something comes out. You're literally channeling, Gary. You don't even realize it, but when you are in that listening mode, you just went from left brain overthinking to right brain receiving, right? And so you're simply going to let flow whatever information is coming through. And this is what is called awake and aware channeling. So you could be totally awake having a conversation and channeling information, or maybe you're on the opposite side where you have the issue and you tell someone your problem and they give you that advice, and it's like, wow, that's actually really good advice. They're actually channeling they're reaching somewhere up there in the ethers for the correct answer for you. Right?
Yes.
So,
No, it's super interesting. Look, Mayra, you've given us a great hour here. I got just a couple more questions to wrap up if you've got a minute.
sure.
How do you look at psychedelic drugs in your space in past life regression, from mushrooms to LSD and things like that, which is, you can see why this
Mhm.
could play a big role, but how do you look at those things?
Personally,
Yeah.
I
Or for
love
clients.
no, my clients don't need it
Okay.
because hypnosis works all on its
Got
own.
Okay.
So there was a woman that came in and she wanted to take some mushrooms to travel, and it was a distraction. It became a distraction. You don't need anything to experience hypnosis. All I tell people is no stimulants, no coffee, no caffeine, on the day of your session. And I do ask them to stop eating meat for 5 days, drink lots of water, because you're going to be channeling information and you want to be that clear channel. So avoiding meats actually helps for you to hear and get those downloads of information when you're in a session. Personally, I've gone on many, many mushroom journeys. And personally, I am leaving for my first ayahuasca trip on Friday morning. So,
Well, I gotta say, I've heard a lot about ayahuasca, and I don't understand it. It seems so unfun to be throwing up and shitting yourself to get some idea of some open-mindedness. I feel like that's a very strange way to go about it, but I wish you the absolute best
thank
for it.
you.
I hope you have an incredible experience. It's just, I find it like, that does not seem like a good time to me.
I know that
I'm the worst vomiter on earth. If I start
Oh my
throwing up,
God.
people hear me from miles around. It's like it's just unfun. There's nothing fun about it. And then I feel like someone beat the shit out of me for days. My back hurts. It's just like,
Oh
it's
my
not,
gosh.
it's not something I enjoy. But okay, so and this, I guess, can anybody be hypnotized? Have you ever met someone like, I just can't hypnotize this guy or this girl? Like they're just
Yes.
not. And
Yes, of
sorry,
course. I mean,
the session's
yes.
not. What does it take for someone? What is it about people that can't be hypnotized versus people who easily can? Is there have you noticed a trait or a
Fear.
certain type? Like, is it just the
Fear.
Irish that
Fear,
can't be
fear,
hypnotized?
fear,
Okay.
fear. It's just fear. And that's why it's so important, to I have these protocols in place, talking with them on Zoom so that they can meet with me, so I can hear about the why, and make them feel comfortable. I also provide them with a pre-hypnosis audio where they're already going to listen to my voice. They're already getting used to my voice at home. So I have them listening to that and already experiencing a lighter hypnosis with me, so that by the time their session comes, whether it's online or in person, I work with people globally, my voice, it's like boom. So I'm already hypnotizing them.
Did you bring your voice down to a certain
Oh,
frequency
yes.
and level, right? To like sort of to go into that space for them?
Yes, Carrie. I
Right.
speak very softly.
Right. They're like, the whole the ASMR thing is really a big hit. Mara, I don't have any other questions. This was really incredibly educational. I am
Thank you.
fascinated by it. I think our audience is going to love it. And it's, if they didn't understand it before, where can people go to find you? Is it all online? Could you do these things all online, but eventually they have to meet you in person? Or if someone
No,
from another
both.
state? Okay. Where do people find you?
I work with people all over the world. I'm flexible on time zones and
Tell
yeah.
everybody where to find you. I'm going to put the links up too when we're done, but let them hear it out of your mouth. How can they get a hold of you?
So I am Soul Science Hypnosis. My business is here in Los Angeles. You could find me, my website, soulsigns.net. You can explore the different, the menu of services there and book directly. And you can find me on Instagram and all the socials at Soul Signs Hypnosis. Also, YouTube channel too.
Okay, great. I'll put those links up. Mayra, thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Thanks for having me.
Right on. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Splintered Spirits. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow Mayra Rath on her podcast. She's everywhere, especially on YouTube. And check out her website if you want to book a session. Guys, until next time, Splintered Spirits. Thanks for listening.